Welcome back to the Connected Automotive homepage. I'm Antony Cockle, and as I scroll down now, we are going to go back into sales training, and if we come down again, we're going to look at stage 3, which is the presentation. And in many dealerships over the years, salespeople fail to present the car to do a static demonstration in the showroom, and when they skip the presentation, they're really missing an opportunity to create desire and also to check that the qualification information that they gained earlier is true and relevant, and the opportunity of having a car there for them to look around can really create desire and move people from a place of being unsure to an actual desire to go further and book a test drive. So, having found out what the customer wants, it's really important to lead them to a suitable vehicle and do it in a logical way. And also when presenting the vehicle, if we scroll down, the classic way of presenting a car is a 5-point walk around, which I was first taught 30 years ago now. And the 5-point walk around that we were shown, and you can do different versions or variations of this, but start with the corner of the vehicle. So it could be the front offside or near side corner, whichever you prefer, but just to stand back and look at that angle of the car and just describe things that are obvious. So it could be the streamlining, it could be the drag coefficient figures for that vehicle, it could be the air intake on the radiator, and then moving around generally in an anti-clockwise direction because you want to end up at the driver's door. You then show the side of the car. A simple way of presenting things like tinted glass is just to have the window halfway down and to put your hand halfway over the window so they can see the tint, so whether it's a brown tint or a green-blue tint, just to show that as a different thing. This is your one opportunity to really take control and lead the customer. Now, some customers are going to decide to go off and walk on their own, and the key there is not to follow them but to stay put. If you stay where you are, they will come back to you, almost like being on a string. They'll walk back to you and then carry on with your presentation. So as you go around the car, you may open the door and just show the side impact bars and the protection on the outside of the vehicle, and then round into the boot, open the tailgate, show the space, show whether it's flat loading or if there's a 60-40 split rear seat, and link the things that you're showing the customer into the qualification questions that you asked earlier, so that the features that the vehicle has then become beneficial. So for example, you might say, earlier on you mentioned that you play golf. Well, if you look at the boot here, you'll see that we've got a 60-40 split rear seat. How does this compare to your current vehicle? And how does the loading level compare? As you go round, you may discuss things like the tailgate lighting, so there may be a brake light on the tailgate, and also the higher level brake lights for visibility and the benefits of that. And then moving further round, you finish at point 4 with the customer being shown the cabin of the vehicle and sitting them inside. Now, one of the things that salespeople often do is lean over the door with their arm on the roof and effectively their armpit very close to the face of the client, and that's definitely not a good idea, and in the summer even worse for obvious reasons. What I would recommend is that you shut the door and then walk around the car and sit in the passenger seat and close the door. That way there'll be no distractions from the showroom, and it will give you an opportunity to really go through the console and the cabin area and just really explain step by step everything that is to you obvious but to them may be refreshing. And then finally pull the bonnet and come out and then look under the bonnet as point number 5. So generally if you look at what we're doing, we're starting on the things that people wouldn't really expect to see, and we're keeping them in suspense. Most people want to sit straight in the passenger seat and save it till later on because you'll have their attention. Again, with looking under the bonnet, it doesn't matter if they're technical or if they're not technical. If you show them under the bonnet, it will be clean, or it should be clean, and also you can show them the simple things in terms of accessing for topping up oil. If there is a dipstick, then how that works, if it's manually done or whether it's electronically linked to the dashboard, and things like the wiper washers and how they are easily filled up and where the levels are. So just to recap, viewing the front corner, and explain the shape, looking through the passenger door, the open boot and the benefits of the space within that, linking into earlier qualification questions, the driver's seat and the cabin area, the interior, and of course when you're in the driver's seat, the other thing you should also do at point 4 is take them into the rear of the car so they sit in the back where the passengers will be. That would also come under point 4. And then point 5 is viewing under the bonnet, as I've just said. So if we just go back up here, there are a few other benefits. So it helps the customer to measure their initial feeling towards the vehicle and their touching and feeling it, so it appeals to the more feeling based buyers, the kinesthetic people, and you should be able to gauge their raw reaction. You're slowing the sales process down, and the more you slow it down within reason, the more you're going to increase desire for ownership. If you're relaxed and confident and you show expertise, then the customer will pick up on that. It allows you to show the vehicle off in its best light and when it's clean and in the showroom, and it's a real luxury to spend time showing someone a car. And it also allows customers to pick up on questions that they may have had at the back of their mind and forgotten, or even new things that come to mind as they're looking through the vehicle. You have an opportunity to pick up buying signals. You'll gauge a reaction and whether they're asking any questions as buying signals. And it allows the customer to ask questions and they can become emotionally involved, and that's really what you're looking for at this point. And if you come over as an expert, then the customer will have more confidence in you, and when it comes to the test drive and then asking for the order and negotiation later, it should be just a little bit easier if the desire is higher. So generally, one thing to remember is the more desire that there is to own a product, the less need to generally discount. The lower the desire, the higher the discount that's often negotiated. So if you keep that in mind, then the presentation is a real opportunity to increase your profit opportunity and make the customer feel very special.